So what I want to tell everyone, doesn't matter what you're going through life, how many people in your corner, doesn't matter if you have 4 people or if you have over 4,000 people, don't get yourself stuck in that rabbit hole, because if you do, you're pushing away everyone that's there for you. That 4 people, you're pushing them away. Those 4,000, you're pushing them away, and now you're stuck, and you don't know how to get yourself out of it. So don't do that. Get yourself on the ups and let people know what's going on. And like I said, it doesn't matter what you're going through life, just keep on trucking, keep moving forward, showing this disease, or say you have anxiety disease or whatever you have got going on, who's boss?
This is the Buffalo Community Podcast, all about the greatest small town in the USA, the people in it, and how it all works together. Here are your hosts, Tyler Reese and Mark Benzer.
All right, let's talk about it. So, 310 guest. You've been a guest of ours in each of our studio locations, and
oh yeah,
so
we're from over by Target there.
We're trying to ditch you.
Yeah, I swear. And next to the liquor store in town. Now you're in the next to the movie theater.
Yeah, then we were too close to the liquor store, so we could get a little further away. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But no, we're super glad that you're able to come in, and obviously, literally glad that you're here. Like literally.
Exactly.
I think we could talk a long time. We do have we got about a 20-minute time constraint, but we're going to try to pack a lot of podcast into 20 minutes. So, yep. Joe, last time you were on, you were cancer-free.
Correct.
And then you got some bad news, and now things, you're getting some good news. And so, great news. I'm just going to turn it over to you, and you can cut loose.
So, now 25 days, on December 5th, we met up with my Dr. Holton at the University of Minnesota, and the prior week before that, we did a bone marrow biopsy, and that was number 52 in 5.5 years. Yeah, 52 bone marrow biopsies. And so after we saw, and I did a PET scan too as well and all that, and so when we met with Dr. Holton the following week with my mom and my friend Sabrina, my Dr. Holton's like, dude, I don't know what it is, but man, you're some sort of beast. I go, why? And she goes like, check this out, and showed us the scan. So back in August, my body was lighting up like a Christmas tree. Mm-hmm. Well, Christmas came early, and my birthday present came early, and now a lot of things are shrinking. And the weird thing is, so when I was first told that my cancer came back and she had a game plan of doing light chemo in my spine, in which we still do once a month, and a drug that I did 4 years ago called Intuzumab. Again, we do that once a month. It's basically the same day. So like next week on the 3rd, I'll be getting all that treatment done. It was supposed to be for a softer landing. And well, that softer landing has decreased a lot of things. And literally things are either gone or things are still there, but it has basically decreased, which is just a complete godsend. It was just like so many power prayers from all of you guys from all over the United States and all over the world, actually. Yeah. That everyone knows my story out in Europe and whatnot. I mean, I've just been blessed with such a great team. But like I said, in between all that, though, before finding out all this, like I said, my family and I and myself been traveling, which has been great to see friends and go explore Alaska and go see friends down in Georgia, South Carolina, and still represent the cancer world in South Carolina during a Leukemia Lymphoma Society Light the Night out there. And then I did one over here in September in St. Paul at Harriet Island, and I was up on the stage with my mom, and I was nominated to be up there, and it was just a very cheerful, but yet it was sad, but it was a good sad, but in a sad way, like I said back in September, it was hard, but, and then things were like escalating on the good side, and like they were just like watching my blood numbers, and those right now are steady. They're not like low, but they're not high. They're just steady. But like I said, I've been feeling so great between all of this, between the last 3 to 6 months, and just doing things and being nominated through the LLS. And not only was I nominated before I went down to D.C., but I was also, my mom was also as a caretaker. So she got an award that night as well. And so I got an award for through the LLS called the Blood Award. I have a little glass trophy. And then she got herself like a plaque as well. But a lot of great things are coming out, a lot of great people. Another cool story, I forgot to grab it. I got a little platform. Can I grab it real quick?
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no. Every time, Joe, you come in here, it's phenomenal to hear the change and actually, I think and take this however way you'd like it, you've looked completely different, I think, the 3 times that you're here. And I think we've caught you in a couple of different stages of how well you're feeling.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it was, I think you came in right after you had COVID one time.
Yep, I did.
And so, anyway, you're looking good today.
Well, thank you.
Let's go to what your platform is.
So my cousin, Mark Lukacheski, and his wife, Natalie, they live out in D.C. area. And so that was my last real trip. Mine's heading down to Chicago for Christmas and all that, but more or less I was out in D.C. right after Thanksgiving and all that. And so he's a lobbyist in the healthcare area. And so he set up an appointment with Tom Emmer, who is our state representative out there. And so we met up with Tom Emmer. And with most politicians, they usually give you about 5 minutes. He gave me 35 minutes of his time. So we talked about the cancer world. We talked about his wife or his sister losing to that battle 20 years ago to breast cancer, and then we talked about mine, and then we did the whole pictures together, and we did my flag, my Jojo Tough flag together at the end. And so he's like, Joe, your story's amazing. We're gonna do something really, really cool for you. I'm like, oh, what's that, Tom? And then, yes, Tom, not Congressman, but I said Tom because my cousin,
I think I've deserved this one.
Tommy. When I first met him at the door, he's like, Tom Emmer. I'm like, Joe Motlow, and we both kind of gave each other the arm slap shake.
Yeah.
And my cousin's like, oh my gosh, and he still keeps saying, calling him Tom this, and we're like Joe, Tom, back and forth and all that, and he's just like, what the heck? He should be like. But long story short, Tom Emmer, Congressman Tom Emmer, was like, we're going to make this platform really cool for you. And I thought it was going to be a digital thing, and it's going to be in the Congressional Record Library for life. I go, oh, that's so cool. I'm so thankful. I just thought it was a digital thing. Sure. Well, about a week or 2 later, also he said that he was going to read it on the floor over there at the Capitol. So then a week later, I was introduced, or I had this at my mailbox.
That camera, Luke?
So that's a stamped and sealed.
Yep.
You gotta feel it, it's for real.
Embossed. Nice.
Yep. And then inside, dun, dun, dun,
Hey.
is basically the whole platform. And apparently my mom and my cousin were behind on this. So my mom wrote a piece on this. I'll let you guys take a quick little look. And then she emailed it back to my cousin. And my cousin emailed that to Tom Emmer's office. And he wrote a little something in there. And like I said, it's number 183. It's going to be for life again, in the Congressional Library out there in D.C. So he's got a copy. And I got my copy.
Cool. That's pretty cool.
And like I said, it was just wow. It's actually legit real.
Yeah.
So, you've done a lot in the last 6 months since we've seen you.
Yep.
I've seen you on Facebook. You've gone skydiving.
Skydiving, I recommend it to people. Honestly, overcome your fears.
No thanks.
Honestly, it sounds crazy, but you got to do it. You just got you're going to be so proud of yourself afterwards. You're like, heck yeah, I finally beat my fear.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to ask it's going to be a very, very personal question. I mean, because when the doctor ever given you that timeline before? in the last 5.5 years.
Yes. So when I was very first sick over at Methodist Hospital, I was told by my doctor team over there that I had 3 months to live if I had a certain marker. And this marker is called the Philadelphia chromosome. So if I had that, that would have been like my 3-month deal. And then there's been times where I was ready to give up. When I first got out of the hospital from the Methodist, or U of M, I should say, I was sicker than a dog. I mean, I was just like puking up blood. It was bad. And I lost 40 pounds after I just gained back the 30 pounds I lost before. I lost 40 pounds. And between my mom and my good friend Tim Miller, they're like, Joe, you cannot give up. Like, you got too many people rooting for you. You cannot give up. So I didn't give up. And then on my 39th birthday, I basically had my whole family come over to my place out in New Hope. And on the 18th, because I just got out of the, let's see here, I came back home from Seattle and then had COVID, I didn't have COVID then. Came back from Seattle and I felt super, super weak and just drained and tired. And on my 39th birthday, I wasn't sure if I was going to wake up or not. And I woke up and there was a line of cars outside my place wishing me happy birthday and all that, including my brother. There was like 30 cars of people just honking with signs. It was just so great. And then, like I said, this past, having that month of 3 to 6 months. So this might sound kind of selfish on my end. I wasn't afraid to die because I literally almost died back in February with pneumonia. Mm-hmm. And I was back in the hospital on that. And then on May 3rd, as you all know, I almost died from loss of blood, where I lost 4 pints of blood, and your body holds up to 8. And so when I showed up and I basically puked and rallied out and other end, and my mom found me, like my bathroom looked like a murder scene. Ugh. And so it was very hard for her to see all that. And so when we showed up by an ambulance over there at the U of M, everyone knows me over there. So like, Jojo, like, how are you still alive? Your body holds up to 8 pints of blood. You lost 4, and you should be technically be dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I don't know, I just wanted to live. And so I just kept trucking. Now, kind of a crazy story too. So that major bleed, my mom and I were doing a lot of like math of why my cancer came back for the 6th time. So while I was in the hospital, we did a scan, right, on that May 3rd. And so we did a scan to see what was wrong. And then I got out of the hospital. We met with my new liver and kidney doctor. And he's like, Joe, you got these little spots, and we're not quite sure what they are, but here's what's going on. And then they also put in these bands on my, oh my gosh, I forgot what these certain like lines of blood, but vessels, or veins, varices vein. So they put these bands, tie them up, and hold them up, and so to kind of refix everything. And so, and then by June, those spots grew to about 3%. And then after we heard about that, and my mom and I both looked at each other and looked at the doctor, like, because he's like, I'm like, are these cancer spots? He goes, no, I'm not going to rule them out as cancer. But my mom and I both were like, hey, we know these are cancer spots.
Yeah, we've been here before.
We've been here before. But we didn't say that to him. We were just like, all right, we'll roll with it. And so and then he wanted us to set up an appointment for a kidney biopsy. And then after we left, we got in the car and basically we said, I'm screwed, you're screwed. Like, we have no other options. I mean, there was nothing out there.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done everything from here to Seattle. I couldn't tell you how many amounts of chemo, between the 2 therapy drugs and the CAR T, I've done 2 different versions of those in the past 5.5 years. So, and then July came, and we found out that my cancer came back for the 6th time, and basically my body was lit up even more.
Sure. It's everywhere.
And it was in my kidneys too, which is a tough spot. And so that was where most of my cancer is at. It's in my kidneys. So the reason why we can't do radiation, because basically it'd be like putting a steak on a grill. You're just basically frying them up, and there's nothing to it. Everyone keeps asking, why don't you do a transplant. Well, I can do a transplant, but then check this out. So say I get a kidney from you and a kidney from you, Tyler, and within, like, say that gives me another 4 to 5 months, or it gives me like 3 to 5 months to live. Great, cool. But say in the 3 months yours goes out, yes, you can live on one liver or one kidney, but then say all of a sudden yours starts going out, and now we're starting to look for another donor. But in between all of that, between the surgeries of opening me up, closing me up, and all that, I can lose blood and die on the surgery table. So we definitely don't want that to happen. So like I said, we ran out of options. And then so I've just been like continuing on and just trying to, stay not like in a rabbit hole anymore, just adventuring, going up to Alaska, doing this, doing that, and all that fun stuff. And so now the selfish end, like I said, I wasn't scared to die when I heard that. I was more sad for all of you guys and everyone from all over that I know, because I've built such a sorry,
That's right, buddy.
a relationship with you guys all,
Yeah.
and that's always the hardest part. Like I said, I'm not scared to die, but I'm more sad for all of you. So that's what I'm saying. It's like more selfish end. Sorry about that.
No, I think you deserve to be selfish, man. I mean, like, I think just hearing the story and the bravery and just the compassion you have for everybody else that has that compassion for you and your mom.
Yep.
I mean, you deserve it. You deserve that selfishness. And I think anybody that hears your story, you're like, man, how does Joe stay so selfless
Right.
in providing all this for everybody?
Yeah. And so I just, like I said, that mentality is not everyone can get on that page.
Yeah.
Like I said, I mean, everyone has beaten death sometime in their life and all that, but with having cancer and being told that. And so, actually, ironically, today, this morning, a friend of mine named Curtis Franks, he's 66. And so he just actually found out yesterday that he was cancer-free yesterday. And so today was his birthday and all that. But when he went through his bone marrow transplant a few months ago, he was told that after the bone marrow transplant, not everyone his age can live that long. And so they told him that he's got 100 days to live if he can make it. Well, he's still here, and I was able to celebrate his birthday and his celebration of life. Basically, like saying, hey, fuck you, cancer. Sorry for language.
That's right.
But
That's right. I was going to kind of ask every time you go back to the hospital and you look at that doctor and you go, still here.
yeah, and so when she told me that, I go, Dr. Holden, I'm just trying to be a badass like you, because she's a gym rat, and so I'm like, I'm just trying to follow in your footsteps and staying strong.
Yeah.
And so, but she's an amazing woman. She even came to my celebration of life, and so, and along with many others and all that back in August there.
Yeah.
And so, but like I said, it's something that it's a different entity for people, but for women, I can understand it's a hard thing, because they're losing everything from their hair to their chest to their ovaries. It's a whole nother entity. So I understand that end. But for us guys, we look good bald, I guess. And so, but we just got to keep powering through and showing everyone. So now going forward now, so last year, January, I was like, sweet, made it to 1 year. I turned 40. So what my goal was back in January of this year was to start up my own foundation, the Georgia Tough Foundation. And what we do is basically help provide services, meaning if you want to just do something on your bucket list, it's something you've never done before, and I know what to do, and I've got the right people in the right direction on things, or if they want to know how to raise money for themselves, and whatnot. And it doesn't matter what kind of cancer you have, I would be there providing that service for you. And then also some friends of mine run part of a church at the Lord of Life over there in Brooklyn Park off of 169 there. And I was going to start up like once a month, something called the 4 C's. Nothing with my JoJo Tough logo on there. It would be called Cookies, Coffee, Conversation, Cancer. And so it'd be like an AA group, but an AA group for cancer people.
Yeah.
And if they need, so I tell my story, and then they would tell me about their stories. And again, it doesn't matter what kind of cancer. And so, and they would run from between like 6 to 8 o'clock at night. And if things got bigger, then they add more days to the month, you know, and if things got even more bigger, you know, probably more days of these conversations and all that with people. And if things got even bigger, I would invite my mom and have people hear from her end, and then eventually have other people's caretakers and hear from their end.
Yeah.
And so, and if things got even bigger, we were gonna do like a YouTube page, and so we would get that up and started, and so
To the moon.
to the moon,
Yeah.
to the moon.
What's been the most surprising thing? I mean, as you're going through this journey, and it's been a long one. And again, it sounds like you've been close a couple of times, and I don't mean to kind of shine that, but
No.
I feel like you said ask.
Yeah.
You know, what's been the most surprising thing that, you know, as you face this?
There's so many, but just I don't even know where to start on that. I mean, that's a good question. But I think just more of seeing that things are dissipating. I guess that'd be the number one thing,
Yeah.
that things are dissipating.
Yeah.
And so, but like I said, just a lot of great surprises, a lot out of everyone from
Yeah.
all over. I mean, or just going on hunts, like with my buddy Tim, I finally got my first real big buck
Nice.
on his property. And so, and then coming up in January, January 12th to the 15th, I'm going down to the Dallas area. And friends of mine invited me to go down there with them because they got friends that live down, they got a buddy that lives down there to go hog hunting.
Nice. That'll
Is
be
that like
fun.
the hog hunting that you do out of helicopters?
Yeah, we're not going to do it on a helicopter. So his friend owns land.
Sure.
So either going to be like in a tree stand or a hog stand, whatever, and then or a back of a truck. I don't know how this is going to line up.
Whatever happens in Texas.
Yeah.
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 It's very fun.
So you were given 3 to 6 months, and how do you balance like living life as if you're going to live forever and living life
Kind of like that song,
live like
Live
you're
like
dying,
you're
right?
Live Like You're Dying.
So, right, knowing that, you know, I don't know if they've given you new timelines, right?
Nope.
So
I
obviously
mean-
that leaves a lot of questions, right?
Yep.
So does 3 to 6 months turn into 6 to 12, so how do you live life according to
Is
it
every
might
day
be another
borrowed?
year, or it might be when I'm 80.
Yeah, it might be. I mean, basically with all those in hand, I mean, yeah, I was dealt with another crappy set of cards, but at the same time, I'm bypassing every single card. And like I said, I mean, I'm throwing down ace after ace after ace after ace. And right now, like, you know, Dr. Holden doesn't know. We don't know. And so we're just going to, day by day, live like I'm dying kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to die.
Yeah.
Even though that's kind
You know, I know you
Well-
have an appointment after this.
Yeah, but that's fine. Like I said, I mean, I'll give him a shout later here and let him know I'm running a little late. But
Yeah. One thing I would like is just like when you look into a camera. I think we've done this every single time. One of the 5 cameras here, but just that message to people. And I think it's an appropriate time because we're coming into the new year, and I know not everybody's dealing with cancer,
right,
but they might be dealing with some type of struggle. Just kind of
and
everybody's ready for a renewed vigor of something, you know.
right. And so what I want to tell everyone, doesn't matter what you're going through life, how many people in your corner, doesn't matter if you have 4 people or if you have over 4,000 people. Don't get yourself stuck in that rabbit hole, because if you do, you're pushing away everyone that's there for you. That 4 people, you're pushing them away. Those 4,000, you're pushing them away, and now you're stuck, and you don't know how to get yourself out of it. So don't do that. Get yourself on the ups and let people know what's going on. And like I said, it doesn't matter what you're going through life. Just keep on trucking, keep moving forward, showing this disease, or say you have anxiety disease or whatever you have got going on, who's boss. As long as you don't cause and create drama between your loved ones or your closest friends, or just even an acquaintance, don't do that. Get yourself out of the rabbit hole and keep moving forward and showing showing yourself and showing many others that same path. Because if you go down the rabbit hole, no one's going to help you out, and you're going to be a pain in their butt. And just don't think negative. Think positive. Keep moving forward.
Yeah.
2023, it's coming, and you're going to prove the world how strong you really are.
Yeah. Joe, thank you for coming in. We always appreciate it. And one, congrats. This is our first time recording in this new studio.
Yes.
You are a 3-peat champ every single where. But next time you're on, we'll probably still be here. So
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much,
we'll be
gentlemen.
there. So again, thank you. For the Buffalo Community Podcast, I'm Tyler Reese.
I'm Mark Benzer.
Whoa.
And just jump out. Hey, keep hanging 10. Keep hanging 10.
Thanks for listening to the Buffalo Community Podcast, produced by Edlin Media. You can find us on Facebook and YouTube, as well as anywhere you listen to podcasts.